Hi, this is Dennis from Fresh Endeavor, Chef Demic Chef. And today we're going to do something that is underutilized. It's a quince. We're going to bake quince, and first I'm going to process them, show you how that's done. We're going to add butter, cinnamon, cardamom, and also pecans to it. First thing I'm going to do with the quince is I'm going to take it and I'm going to cut the ends off. Now I'm going to peel it. You can't eat them like they are raw. They are really kind of chalky, astringent on the inside, but the flavor and the aroma is wonderful once it's cooked. I'm sure most people have seen baked apples, where you bake apples and you add cinnamon and nutmeg to them with some butter. Sometimes you'll add some nuts and bake them in the oven and just eat them like that. It's going to be very similar to that. So after you're done peeling them, you want to cut them in half. They're a little harder than apples. You have to be careful with them. Open them up like that. Take the inside out, and you need to take out the core. Now that they're peeled and cored, I'm going to put them in water and squeeze some lemon into the water. They will oxidize just like apples or pears will, so you have to be careful with them. Okay, so we have 2 quince right here, ready to go. Next thing, I'm going to add some brown sugar to each one. You can use white sugar if you'd like. I like the brown sugar because I like things to caramelize more. Do the same thing when I'm doing apples. Now I'm going to use some butter. The butter right there. We're also going to add just a tiny bit of water to the bottom of this. Caramelization, any of the additional drippings, we want those. So we've gotten that far. Cinnamon over the top. That's going to melt down there with it. I'm also adding cardamom because I like cardamom. Now some pecans. I'm not going to bother toasting the pecans because they're going to toast when they cook. It's about 3 tablespoons there at least. So I'm going to put a little bit of the lemon, more lemon, over the top. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water to the bottom of the pan, and I will check it periodically. I don't want too much water because I don't want it swimming around in there, because I want some of the things to caramelize, but I also want there to be some dripping so I can baste it over the top while it's cooking. So that's where we are right here. The only other thing I'm going to add will be a little bit of pink salt. And this is going to go into the oven roughly 45-50 minutes, maybe up to an hour at a 375 oven, and we'll see you shortly. Okay, I took these out after about 25 minutes and they're looking good. I added another pat of butter to them so far, a tiny bit more water because I want to be able to baste them. They're looking really good though, and they smell wonderful. So I'm taking a spoon here, getting some of the drippings off the bottom. We're going to baste them. This will probably be the last time, maybe one more time prior to taking them out and finishing them. But I added, like I said, I added a little bit more liquid. That'll be it for that because I'm going to want that liquid to tighten up a little bit for the finished product. Smelling good. I am going to add a tiny bit more of cardamom. And a little bit more of the brown sugar. I'll just put that in the bottom there. And one other thing I'm going to add is a tiny bit of maple syrup. Now probably the only thing I'll finish this with, if it needs a little bit more butter at the end, and possibly a little bit more lemon juice to bring out the sweet and sour, but that'll be it. So baste as it goes along, and the sauce gets created by itself inside the pan. And it's still a little bit hard in the center. So we're going to put these back into the oven and let them go probably another 15-20 minutes, and we'll go from there. Okay, it's been 1 hour. The baked quince are done. I had to baste it one more time in between, And I didn't add any more water because I wanted there to be a sauce like this. You can see the sauce. Pecans are caramelized, and this is soft enough, just like you would if you're doing an apple. It takes a little bit longer usually, but it's soft enough so a knife would go right through that. And we're going to show you what it's going to look like on a plate. Smells fantastic. Take one off here, put it on a plate. Cut into it. Sauce to go with it. You can see that. Cuts like an apple, like a cooked pear. Flavor's a little bit different. And it's very floral. You can see that. Now let's taste it. Wow, that is fantastic. I like this even better than apples, to be honest with you, and I love baked apples. Wow. The thing about quinces, they're not around, at least in the US, that for a long time. You get them from October to about now, maybe a little bit longer, and they'll hold for about a month, month and a half, something like that. And to store them, then they'll start to turn after that. So you don't have a long time, at least in this market, in order to get them. You should really try them. It's almost like a forgotten type fruit at least in the United States and other parts of the world. Turkey and other places, they eat them all the time, but in the US, not as much, and I don't understand why. Maybe because people don't know how to prepare them, not sure, but at least now you can see at least one preparation, and I plan on doing at least one or two more preparations with quince before the end of this season. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you really decide to do something like this. Do yourself a favor and make some of these. Thank you.